Good morning. Good morning. Hello. How is everybody doing this fine October morning? So, all righty. Well, welcome to Mid Morning Medium Chat with Adam the Black Swamp Medium. Thank you so much for being here. And it's I don't know, we'll see how today goes. Had some interesting things go on, and I figure now's a better time than anything. Oh, Debbie, that's awesome. Glad to see you're over there. That is so cool. Yeah, I wish I could have been there, but I was invited to go. Not to partake in the event, but just to go and hang out. But unfortunately, I there's multiple things that are happening today and tomorrow, so there was just no way I could get out of the stuff I'm doing this weekend. So, um, and it's okay. That's okay. I'm completely fine with it. It looks like everybody's having a good time. I've seen a lot of photos from last night, and so that is super super cool. Um, but since it's starting to become fun to do, um, I wanted to do a couple little things. Good morning, Cindy. Um, I wanted to do a couple little, like, I'm starting to get used to doing some of the housekeeping things. So I'm going to show a couple things real quickly, things that are coming up. All right. Get this one up there. Does this go bigger? No, it really doesn't. So I guess I can stay in the shot. Sorry, I can't get this one any bigger. And that's no big deal. But I should have been talking about this one for a while now, but it is what it is. So on Sunday, November 7th in Flint, Michigan, there's the Mid Michigan Paranormal Convention. So some of you guys have heard of it. You've probably seen some of the things. If you haven't, I posted it on my page. Originally, Debbie and I were going to be doing that. Debbie from the Beyond the Silence, my other partner when we did those. That was we were going to do it together, but Debbie's had some other things come up, and so she's not going to be able to make it. So now it's just going to be me solo, but I'll have a presentation to do. Hey, good morning, Rachel. So I'll have a presentation, and then hey, Chris, and we'll so I'll do that presentation, and then I will be at my table, and we'll see what happens at my table. I'm going to try to do some readings. We'll see how that goes, especially if I'm feeling up for it, because some of the things we're going to talk about here this morning, you just never know how my week's going to be, when it's coming in. So you guys can see a lot of I know it's kind of hard to see probably, but like I said, if you want to see this up close, you can either go to the Mid-Michigan Paranormal Facebook page, or you can go to my wall, my Black Swamp Medium wall, and you guys can see this a little bit closer. But you probably recognize so many people from that that's on the speaking list there. So hopefully you guys will be willing to come out, hang out with us, and see some good presentations. Like, I know pretty much everybody. The only thing is I haven't met the Ghost Brothers yet. Juan and Dalen, I have not met them in person yet. So those are probably the only ones I kind of don't know, but other than seeing, their show. So that's coming up on November 7th. Take that out for a second. Now let me do the old mill, because that's always a good thing to do. You got to promote all these suckers, So you guys can see Old Mill Parafest, November 13th. So that's basically the following weekend. We again, like I talked about every week, we did it virtually last year, and then we finally were able to have this back, in person again, and so we're going to be doing that. And so you can see the one thing at the very bottom, which you guys can see, is Dave Dominic. I didn't get the updated photos. I forgot to do that when I just now that when I went live. But David is going to have two more Bigfoot. They're doing Bigfoot stuff and presentation. So he's going to have two more friends jump up there on stage with them. And I'm blanking on their names offhand. But so David's not going to be alone. So there'll be three of them doing some Bigfoot things during their presentation at the Old Mill Parafest. So that'll be fantastic. So hopefully you guys can attend. If it'd be great, and we'll have a good time. So, all right, cut that out. I think that wraps up most of it. Now I will be doing I am going to share something a little bit later on, but I'm just going to get it all prepped now while I can because I'm going to need it. So, anyway, but before I do that, so exciting. So hopefully you guys can show up and maybe one of those or both of those. That'd be awesome. And we'll have some fun, get to catch up. It's been a long time since I've seen a lot of people. And um yeah, it's I'm excited to start get back into the swing of things a little bit, at least get into the events, whether I'm a part of it or just a guest, hanging out, that, that's that's probably the most exciting part about it, is just getting around and finally seeing everybody after, the everything that's been going on over a year and a half. Thank you, Margaret. That's awesome. I kind of knew that already because you already told me so. but so yeah, this week, hopefully you guys have been watching my page, the page. If you guys seen some of my posts, some interesting things have gone on, and one of them happened yesterday that I did not post because I figured, well, it's so close to show day, I might as well just talk about it live, and then you guys can hear it and see the reaction, and the whole thing. So I'm going to do one thing completely live that only two other people know about, but I wanted to talk about what happened in the beginning of the week. So several days ago, I was. Um, just I was driving to work and it was weird morning. It truly was weird. I don't, it just there's something felt weird in the air. Mind you, there is some truth to that because um this was I think Tuesday. Yeah, Tuesday, I think it was. And there was storms on the way, and we kind of knew that. I mean, there was supposed to be a good barrage of storms and things. And what was cool was when I was leaving, I have to drive north into Michigan to get to my day job, and it's neat as off my left shoulder, the west, you could see the storms. Wasn't raining yet, there was actually still relatively clear skies. And the neat thing was is even the moon, actually I take that back, it was Wednesday because I think Tuesday was the full moon. Correct me, gang, if I'm wrong. um with the full, you still could see the remnants of the full moon the next day. So I was like, cool, you still kind of see it, still seems full to me. And I, was like, neat, but at the same time, so if you guys saw the photo on my page, I mean, I'm going to put it up there. You guys will see it again, but that caught my eye, and I'm like, that's really weird. And so what I'll do is let me share that. So I'm just going to show you right from my page itself. Where are we? There it is. Kind of. I don't know if I can get it a little bit. I can't get it any bigger than that. But anyway, see, I get the mouse over there, but that's what I was looking out my window. Now, granted, this was right as I was crossing over the border into Michigan, and I was like, "What is happening?" And now, of course, I wasn't thinking anything abnormal. I knew the storms were coming because over to the right of the photos is where the storms were, and I was kind of like, here, let me do this real quickly. But yeah, the storms were coming from way off over here to the right. Now those are two pics side by side, but I was, like I said, it just caught my eye, and I knew you could see the flashes and things like that. But I thought it was weird because you had this, I mean, if you want to call it a contrail or even part of the storm cloud, I don't know, but it was just weird because it just this half circle kind of thing, and it's like going right into the moon, which I thought was mind blowing as it was, uh, but it just was so neat, and I'm like, that is really strange. I haven't, haven't seen that, and I didn't hear. Well, obviously, I couldn't hear anything. I mean, I'm driving, but and even then, if it was a contrail, maybe it is, maybe it is. I don't know, but you know, that's an interesting, like, why would the plane be like, doing this kind of circular motion? Maybe, it was going around to fly back to Detroit. I don't know if I don't know. I'm not, like I said, I'm not putting any, weight into it. I just thought it was interesting that you had this, circular thin cloud diving into the moon per se. Now, granted, that's just the angle of what I'm looking at, but it was really, really neat to see. So I was glad I got a few. I had two more photos, but the one is really blurry, and the other one just had tail lights, from the cars heading south, and crossing back into Ohio, which was hilarious. You see this red line, but not bad. I'm glad I got a few of them that kind of came out, as clear as they could be, driving 70 miles an hour. So, so that was kind of cool, but so neat. Um, I pull that out. So that was cool. So it takes me about an hour and 10 minutes to get to work. So I'm driving up there, not really thinking of anything, other than just random things and stuff like that. And when I get to work, I'm kind of listening to local radio station, and they do some comedy and stuff like that. So it's kind of hilarious. And so I'm just listening to it. And the problem is the building I work at, the outer doors don't open, or your badge won't open it until 6 a.m. Now, some buildings don't have a secondary door, so I have to actually go through two doors, which is usually abnormal, but some buildings just had that. So it's weird is that if I got through the first door, the inner doors, they open up for me at 4:30. So that's already bizarre as it is. But so I just know to sit into the parking lot until 6 o'clock. Okay. So this whole time I'm listening to the show, and I, could see some flashes on the building and stuff like that, because over my left shoulder, even all the way up into Michigan and the city that I work at, you could see the flashes. Still, still no rain, no real heavy winds or anything like that. But as I was sitting there, one thing I did notice, it was really, really cloudy. So I knew obviously the storms, because they're effectively going across, at an angle, and slightly up too. I was like, okay, 6 o'clock hits. I open the door, I walk out the car, and you got to stretch because I've been in a car now for over an hour. And you stretch, you kind of do the whole arm thing, and I'm looking up, not straight up, but basically I'm kind of facing about northwest at this point, and because the storms were more west, and so I'm looking out northwest, and something catches my eye. Now, again, it's heavy clouds. You can't see the sky like I did, like it when I was leaving Ohio into Michigan. You could see the break there, and I was like, what is that? Because now I'm not that far away from Detroit Metro Airport. Even from the city I'm at, it's only like 15 minutes away at best. But the interesting thing is, when planes are landing or taking off, they go over the city that I'm in. Some of them, they actually go over the exact same buildings. Some of the buildings I work in, especially the ones I am now, like, it's kind of my home building. And I have two buildings that are connected, so I can go between both buildings easily. And it's just, a one-story thing, but it's super cool. Hey, Nicole. And so I'm seeing this, this unusual thing in the clouds. And what it looked like was, as I posted about it, if you didn't, see it, which is why I'm telling you, there was three white dots in a triangle formation. So there was one at the top, and then the other two. And they, weren't super close together, but they were a little bit, hey, Carmen. What's up, Jeff? Good morning. But there's these three dots that not too far apart, but not, spread out, but definitely too close to say it was, three airplanes, because obviously, good morning, Jill. And I, that's what caught me, because, I could hear planes, even in that early, you get some red eyes and stuff like that, but it wasn't that active. But seeing those, the distance, in my opinion, was definitely not that. Even if they were taking off and or coming into land, that still wasn't the right distance, because again, I did see a couple planes while trying to figure out what was going on, because I'm jumping around a little bit. I'm mind blown, because even then, when the planes are coming over, you can kind of see, their lights and stuff like that. But these three white lights in the sky, in the clouds per se, aren't moving. They're just standing there. So that's already a weird moment, when they're not moving. They're just in a triangle formation, and they're just sitting there. So now the horrible part about it is because I'm seeing this, I'm obviously wasn't ready for it. And it's somewhere between 3 and 5 seconds. So it wasn't very long, But as I'm staring at it, and the mind's going into investigation mode, so you're just like, I'm figuring this out, and literally somewhere between 3 and 5 seconds, they slowly dissolve into the clouds. They don't move, they just dissolve. So it's just like somebody had a dimmer and they just turned all three off at the exact same time. And then that was it. And so now I'm scanning all the way around, the area of where they were, trying to like, what was that? How did it do that? Why wasn't it moving? You know, um, the parking lot that I was in, because then I was trying to think, okay, was my eyes playing tricks on me? So again, I'm going through everything I could possibly think of. The parking lots have those kind of orange pinkish kind of colors to it. So the lights I saw up in the sky were bright white lights. So they weren't, my eyes weren't burnt, like if you look at the sun, you see the sun, for a little bit, in your vision. But I wasn't looking at the parking lights because I was looking over them. And so I knew it wasn't that because I would have seen one, but again, the distance of where these were was just incredible. And I just couldn't figure it out. And then, again, I'm talking longer than it actually happened. But then as I was trying to rationalize something, then I see, some flashes of lightning lower, on the horizon off, more to the west. And then that's when then I'm thinking, well, I've heard some rumors, well, not rumors, but theories that, whether it's before, during, or after storms, if it is supposedly a UFO, are they using the lightning to charge their craft? Are they, I don't know. So I'm sitting there. I get all my, my backpack and my lunch and water, and I'm walking inside, and the whole time I go into build. I'm not going to tell you the names of the buildings or where they're located, but they do go by an acronym with the labeling of 1 or 2. So I go in through building 1, and then I have to walk through the building 1 to get through a glass tunnel into building 2, where I actually sit most of the time. If this whole time I'm walking, through the halls, granted there's nobody there, it's just me, I'm the only one there. And I'm just going over and over and over this stuff through my head, and I get into my little kind of not, makeshift office, which isn't an office, it's just a little room with a desk. So I kind of set up my stuff and then get my laptop turned on, make sure I'm not and get anything. And then I quickly go to this conference room. Again, that's one thing that's my day job is I, support and service for conference rooms. So I go into one conference room and I'm kind of just staring out the window in the general direction of where this was happening. And that was cool too, because, the storms were now getting even closer at that point. So I'm staring out there, it's flashing, starting to now hear some thunder again, trying to figure things out, but it's not working. I did have some work to do. So, I went back to my little makeshift office and, I was doing a couple little paperwork things, and that's when then the storms hit, so it's like at this point it's, 6:45, or quarter to 7, but somewhere between 6:30 and 6:45 that the storms finally hit. And then it's going crazy, with it being a single or, a one floor, buildings, when that rain hits, especially in heavy downpours, man, it sounds like an audience in a stadium erupting, so you just hear all the metal of the roof and everything. So it was loud, and a couple, good thunders and things. So I'm just, again, all day long, I'm trying to just figure this out. And I'm like, okay, and I wrote to a friend of mine who, I'm not going to give his name because I didn't ask him if I could. And, but I wrote to him, he's kind of into UFOs. And so I kind of threw the whole story out that I just laid in front of you guys and gave him some scenarios, because obviously told him the time, told him the relative direction, I'm not taking any drugs. I wasn't drinking, cause I'm at work. And, and then one other thing that I added to it to kind of throw at him as a possibility was, most of you guys have heard the show, and once in a while you'll hear me talk about it, because it's relatively new and it's still ongoing, is the upgrades that I'm going through. And I kept thinking, is this now a possibility that because of the upgrades and the Pleiadian that's working on me, Are they visiting? Are they really trying to show themselves in a physical form instead of through my third eye? I don't know. That's where my thought is right now. So I throw my friend Jen, and I said, I told her about it, and she's like, you should, get Silastar to come in, ask him what's going on, see if it's him, see if he's got, if there's others of him trying to, show up for you or others. So problem was, is I wasn't feeling great. I had a headache and stuff like that, later in the day. Who knows if it's related, but it did. And all day long, I just kept trying to figure it. And then I never really did I couldn't get connected because the headaches just kind of throw me off, which has been kind of that way all week. Now, that could have been part of the full moon, it could have been part of this stuff. I don't know. And so that's the way it was. And I just kind of waited. Like I said, I told my friend about it. He hasn't responded. He has read it, but he hasn't responded, with, what his thoughts are. Cause that's what I'm curious. I mean, you know, does it sound legit enough or does it sound no? I mean, and I'm cool either way. It's still odd. No, hey Jen, you're right. Yep, I know, but that's the investigator side of me. So to be careful and not always jump to conclusions as much as you want to. I've done, investigating the paranormal and unusual things for so long now that you just try not to jump too quickly. You want to make sure you've really tried your best to figure things out. Even if you don't come up with something, you still at least feel that you made an effort in it. If I really wanted to personally, I think it was. I don't think it was one craft. I think it was three of them because I couldn't see. There was just enough space in the middle of the triangular formation of the three lights that I couldn't see anything else that was like a structure or craft or anything. I mean, obviously there's theories of obviously it could be saucer shaped, or triangular shaped, but I just couldn't see any distinction of a mass between or in the middle of the three white lights. So who knows? And so that was cool. That was great. Let's fast forward to yesterday morning. And this ties in. Now, I've only told two other people this. And like I said, I wasn't going to tell anybody else. Well, I figured it was, since it happened yesterday, there was no point in me posting about it until just doing it live. So I get to work. I'm a little tired. I didn't sleep too good. Like I slept good the night that I saw the three, white lights in the sky. I actually did. I was not doing well. And then I did great. And then the next, then Thursday night, I didn't do so well into Friday. I just was up on and off. So I'm kind of tired, and I had a couple little things to do. And at one point, I go into the same conference room that I mentioned earlier, and it's got kind of a weird like narrow couch, but it's long. And I just thought, well, I'm just gonna just lay there for a second, for a few minutes, just to rest. I mean, I didn't want to sit up anymore. I just wanted to lay down flat. Well, yesterday, depending on where you lived, but it was, I mean, blue skies. I mean, clear, hardly like there wasn't, I think I saw a little tiny bit of a cloud on the horizon, but that was it. Just pure blue skies. Beautiful day yesterday. And I posted a couple of the photos as the sun was coming up and the moon and things. But obviously as the morning continued on, it just was amazing out. So so I'm laying on the couch, and now what I'm going to get to in a little bit is, some of the paranormal stuff that's been going on in the actual building too that I'm in. But I'm hearing things, and it's out of the ordinary because, again, I'm in the building for the last 2 weeks. I was in the building basically by myself. And, yeah, you could have your mind do things. Usually there's another cleaning person that, works both buildings. Not that there's a whole lot, but they've been on vacation. So now they'll be coming back next week. So I knew it was just me. And there was a couple times where a couple people came in briefly. But anyway, So, you know the sounds, you know what things are doing, because they're repetitive, so it's like no big deal. Well, then there's been some other abnormal, sounds and voices and things, and then when you try to go and search for it, you're not fine. But so I'm hearing it. Well, it's kind of keep me, looking around, in the conference room as I'm laying there. Well, I look over out the sky, or out the window into the sky, and because something just drew me to it. So I kind of look out the window and I'm just looking up, staring at, the sky because and I'll show you guys a photo. I didn't post it, but I'll show it on my phone. But I'm looking up and I see this white flash real quick. It probably lasted maybe close to a full second, whoop, just something like that. And I'm like, I'm looking there and I'm laying there and I'm like, what the heck was that? you know, like what was that? And as I'm still watching, I see it again. So it's about every s- every other second, every other two, or 2 seconds in between, you'd see a 1 second flash and then it would go away. Now it was from where I was, it was started at and I'm gonna say the top of the building, and it was heading west. And it would do that. So again, it would flash for a second, kind of go away for about 2 seconds, and then would come back again. Now, it's very difficult during daylight hours, and this is something that goes back a while, to observe anything out into space. The way the light is, the way I'm not a great science person. I love science, but I'm not that good at it. But it's more difficult to see things in space, which is why you can't see stars and stuff. I know there's technical stuff to that. But again, the light helps prevent that, and with it bouncing around and interacting with the ozone and stuff like that. That's as far as I'm going. But it prevents you from seeing things. Obviously, within, the down on this side, on the Earth's inside here, you can see planes and things like that. It's real clear to see. Can't, especially on a clear day, you can see a plane with wings. It's not that hard, you know. And but I'm watching this and I'm thinking, my first quick thought is this space junk? Is it just hitting the sun so perfectly? Then it could be part of a rocket. It could be, a lot of different things it could be. But it kept doing this flash because obviously to me, logically, it was rotating. And every time it rotated and it hit the sun's angle from where I was sitting, it would do the flash. So this is, logically going through it. Uh, but again, I'm watching it and I'm thinking, maybe, just maybe, I can catch a flash on my phone just to see, because obviously the couple days prior, I didn't know I was capturing something unusual, or I would have gotten my phone out and grabbed it if I could have. So I get my phone out. I'm trying to time a flash. It's not working. And the problem is the window's kind of dirty on the outside, so you could see stuff. I mean, it's out of focus. It's, I mean, blurry. And so I'm like, well, that's not working. So as I was frustrated that I couldn't capture it, I then lost it. I couldn't find it, and I'm staring. I kind of knew the path that it was heading because again, I'm like, there was planes. This is, mid morning, 10 o'clock or so. I think it was roughly in there. But I'm like, I could see planes clear as day, but yet this object, I lost it. And so I'm watching. Finally, I'm just staring, just being cool, relaxing my eyes. I see it again. This time it's further away from me because it still was heading there. As I reacquire seeing it, still doing the same thing. It does a flash, then about 2 seconds, and then the flash is back. I'm like, okay. So as I'm watching it, now the whole time it was moving. Well, now where it's at, and I'll show you in the picture kind of, as best I can. The It stopped dead from where it was at, in the point that I was looking at. Because it was easy, because since it wasn't a constant thing and flashing, you could easily just see how it was moving away from me. Well, this point, it's not going anywhere because it's not moving, and the flash was in the exact same spot as where I'm staring. They did that about 2 flashes worth, and then just poof, gone. Completely, utterly gone. Didn't move anymore. It just was right there, and then it just did 2 more flashes, and then it was literally just gone. So I'm like, okay, like I was totally into space junk, something like that. But because it stopped, that changed every thought I had in my body, because that's not the norm. That's not normal for something to just stop, period. You know what I mean? So, and then I'm just like, and then I even like, because like I said, I was kind of laying there. Then I'm like jumped up and I'm like kind of sitting weird on the couch, facing the windows, looking at this guy, trying to see if I could find it again, see if it moved further out. Nothing, nothing, nothing. And now I'm like, then I turn around and I'm just like, what? I I don't know. I really don't know. What do I make of this? I don't know. I don't know. And if it if it would have kept going, I probably wouldn't have even mentioned it. But because it stopped, again, it changed every thought in my body as to you can't do that. We can't. It was too high. I knew that part because again, seeing planes, and the funny thing was is yesterday planes were actually when were coming over my building from taking off from Detroit. So it was they're not very high in the sky yet. You can clearly see them. I can even tell what airlines they were. That's how close they were. It wasn't hard to figure out, That's so I knew the distance was weird. I did see as I was staring there for a little bit longer afterwards, I did see a plane not as high, but it was kind of heading from a south to a north direction. But I knew it obviously had nothing to do with Detroit because it was way too high. But you still could clearly see wings. You could see, it's normal lights. Uh, I couldn't tell the make of that or, the airline for that one, but it's just, uh, again, my point is I'm trying to show you guys or explain to you the distances between, the elevation or the altitude, even for a plane that's roughly going, between 20 and 30,000 miles or, 20,000 feet, this other object was further than that easily because of, how far away it was and that you couldn't quite tell exactly. But like I said, when a plane's between 20 and 30,000 feet, you still can tell. It's not easy when they're up that high, but you still can tell. It doesn't take much, especially on a clear day. So, and I was inside the building, so I couldn't even hear anything either. But that's just the weirdness of it. So I'm just like, did I just have a possible second encounter this week? Is that even possible? Like, I've only had one other encounter, when I was younger as a kid. And, that was it. There was just one weird time I seen an object move at incredible speed, stop, change to a different direction. And I'm just like, that blew me away as a kid. And then I've never had anything since. And, and I'm a kind of a space guy a little bit. I don't do it as much as I used to, but, you know, I used to do there's a site and I can't remember the name of it offhand, but there's more of them, I believe, but you can actually like track all the kinds of different space debris, whether it's, parts of rockets, whether it's satellites, other types of things that are floating up there around our planet. And it's neat is there's sites that actually will show you. So you can pinpoint where you live and it'll tell you what's all going to happen, what's flying over, like you can see when the ISS is, flying over, you can actually track it. If it's close to, where you live, you'll be able to see it. They tell you, hey, look in this direction at this elevation, degree, and watch from this time to this time and you'll see it. And I've done it. I mean, I've watched the ISS when the space shuttle was still flying, seen the space shuttle go over, especially the one time when the space shuttle was chasing to catch up to the ISS. That was really cool because the ISS went over and then the space shuttle was chasing it to dock with it. So that was awesome. But so I got into doing that a lot. And, that was, again, one of the things was that it was always easier at night to see these things because it was near impossible during daylight, even on a perfect condition. So I don't know, but super, super cool. And let me read a couple things real quick. Margaret saying, I wonder if there was any kind of study or whether people who are gifted observe more extraterrestrials, since what I understand about them, they communicate primarily by telepathy. They might know. Well, yeah, absolutely. And the Pleiadian that's working on me, Silazar, is pretty much all telepathic. He's never moved his mouth. He has smiled a little bit, but more kind of like grinning. But he's never really opened his mouth, so I don't even know if he has teeth. So but yeah, that is true. That's things that people have had encounters. They just can hear or just know what's being said. Silazar is, easily I can hear words in my head. It's not like go figure, right? But I can hear the conversation like I'm doing it back and then he's doing it. So it's just as like I'm doing now, talking to people, you can just clearly hear it. Um, well, thank you, Shannon's Odyssey. I believe about 10 years ago, I saw a white spot in the evening in northeast sky. It moved up and down sideways. It wasn't fast, but nothing moves like that. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, because even then to do that, that would be a helicopter at that point. And helicopters, you can't get them to do kind of different quick little movements, even if it's not real fast, but it, it stands out. I mean, anybody's ever watched enough helicopters, you can tell you can't easily do things and then stop so fast, or to change a direction. And there's always going to be a flight, a flow to it and things. So, Debbie, there is, but the thing is they're not pointed to and Debbie's talking about, is there any CCTV? Um, Random drug test. Yeah. There is cameras, but unfortunately they're literally pointed at the parking lots, where all the entrances are to the buildings. So they really are just trying to capture, standard movements in and out. Obviously, if people are trying to get in that shouldn't be getting in, they got that. So there is the cameras, but again, they're focused on the parking lots and where the doors to enter and exit. Okay, Jill's talking about Pastor Latimer investigating the Edson. Woo, Edson. So similar lights. We questioned Anne. Yeah, Anne. And since she was on board with us, she's never viewed anything like that, and we couldn't explain the lights. That's amazing. I mean, and that's been interesting too, is, with everything that's gone on, the last year and a half, some sightings have increased. Is it for a reason? Or are we just because we've been home more and we're got nothing to do other than to look outside instead of staring at a screen, Ooh, I'm staring at a screen. Oh, I didn't get to show you guys the normal shot of the sky. I like I said, I didn't post it and things like that, so this is probably not gonna be perfect. That Don't worry about that shadow. That's just the glare. That shadow, that black shadow is not normal. But the thing is, it started out here. Oh, good, my finger blocked that, and it went down to about the middle of the screen, which is where I can't get that thing to go away. That's weird. But anyway, but you get the idea. So you can see the top of the building up there. And then, like I said, it went down towards the middle, and then it was right above where that shadowy line is. And that was it, Sorry. This was weird. So you could see where I was looking at. But I don't know. I mean, like I said, never really had a lot of experience, and it's always great to hear people that have seen unusual things. And, and if you clearly can tell it's not a plane, it's like, well, then what the heck is it? It's truly a UFO. You don't know. I got you, Debbie. Sorry. Sorry. Drink the coffee weird. Yeah, maybe. I could see, I don't know if it's even you can see it in there. No, I'm kind of curious. Well, I did another landscape shot. But the problem is that, let's see. Yeah, so that little spot right there, that's a camera. That's on building 1's corner right here. So this is facing that whole parking lot and showing the door. Did it see me? Maybe, but I don't know. So, I don't know. But yeah, that probably would have been weird if it was, they kept me run, crawling all over the couch. Oh my God. That would have been a sight to see. Let's see. Shannon's, I do a lot of reading for various posts. I have read that there will be more and more sightings as more people are waking. Yeah, that's true. Because again, with a lot of the people that are being awakened, they're a lot of teachers, so to speak, in a way. They're whether they're helping you unlock what you have inside of you, or they're going to help you, uh, develop. And I that's it's one thing to have spiritual guides and angels, looking after you, and then whatever, if you have a belief system and you're religious, that's great, and creator gods, any of the names that follow for your beliefs. um no, they're there too, but then there is others, there is higher dimensions and things, and so that I mean, everything's related, but everything comes together, and we can sit there and go through, and become better, be better people who we are. And obviously, at a time like this, where things and morale and we're all, hey, good morning, Rodney. We're all struggling, in some form. There, you got people, you got all kinds of things. And again, I don't talk about the stuff that's already see, because that's not what the show is ever going to be about. But that's why I don't say specific words and things, because I'm just not going there. But that's just the thing. We see enough negativity, and we're really at a time where we need to push that. So it's great for even me, to go out there and just share things amongst so many others, and people like all of you that are watching or replaying this or watching it back another time. We got to do our parts. I mean, we can't all single-handedly change the world, but as a collective conscious, we can. So the more we do, the more we help each other out, and we can do it. It's not going to be easy, it's not going to be simple, but we can all do it. So uh and then we're kind of about almost, it was like 17 minutes, 18 minutes left. I wasn't sure I was going to talk about the UFO stuff the whole time, but I guess I could. Let me go into the paranormal side of the buildings I'm in just real quick. I mean, I won't, go long term on things, but um, it's not on. And again, we can keep talking about the UFO stuff. That's great, and but I also want to make sure I get a little bit of the paranormal in too, before I go. Hey, what's up? What's up, Brian? And so it was odd because obviously doing mediumship and stuff, I typically I don't, when I'm at work, I really don't do stuff. I mean, it's, you're there to work, you're there to pay attention, and it's just the way it is. And so, doesn't stop me from feeling the energies. I can't identify what the energies are doing. They're there, but that's about it. And I've had, I've had the person that created the company that I'm at. I've talked to him. I've seen him multiple times, and so that's always kind of cool. But I just do it real quick. I go in and then I jump out, because I'm, again, I'm there to work. I can't be focusing on other things and trying to excite anything or going on. But being in the two buildings that I'm at, especially the second building, you can't help but again hear more unusual things. I'm hearing footsteps, and then when you go to look, there's nobody there, and then you go running to building one to see if anybody's, because you can only walk in through the main doors of building one. You can't go through any of the other doors, are all key locked. So I'm going and checking to see if there's cars. If there's other cars, then okay, that makes sense. But so I get a lot of steps in trying to verify stuff, but I'll run back. Like I said, I'll hear footsteps. I've heard what sounded like carts running through the hall, like clear as day. And then I go out there, I'm like, is the cleaning people? And then I realized, well, the cleaning person's not even here today. Okay, great. And and then, like I said, I've heard voices. I've heard strange sounds, like kind of a mid to low range whistle. Not a real high like bird kind of whistle, but a very mid to low range whistle a couple times now. And that's always like they're really trying to get my attention, because I'd be sitting there at my work laptop, checking email or whatever, and all of a sudden you hear it, and it's like, what was that? I've also seen tons of shadow figures. I've seen apparitions, and they're always looking in the little makeshift office that I'm sitting in. They'll do one of those things and kind of pull back. And by the time I look over there, they're already gone again. I'm like, I get it. You're checking on me. And so finally, it was last week that I decided, I turned on I'm not gonna say names, but I turn on an app that I use, and it's been pretty good for me. It works really well. It costs a couple bucks, but it works really well. And I mean, right away, right out of the gate, they were firing out words, and I'm just like, whoa, I didn't even say anything yet. They just started talking right away. And, you know, doing the traditional, hey, how you doing? Kind of thing. And I said, because I've been basically in those buildings since the beginning of July. I Before I could even finish this sentence, they're already saying it. So I asked, I'm like, do you guys know who I am? But when I said, do you guys know, they were already screaming at me. Well, not in a bad way, but they were already screaming. Three different spirits came up and kept saying Adam. And I'm like, okay, it's legit now. I only There's three different voices, three different characters that just all said my name. I'm like, so here we go. So I'm like, okay, great to meet you, and start talking a little bit. And unfortunately, there was a few of them that weren't so nice, and they obviously wanted to be left alone. And it's not like I was trying to, provoke them or anything. I would never do that. You guys know that. Anybody that's ever investigated with me, I don't do that. Yeah, it's the last thing I'm going to do. But a couple of them were kind of getting a little threatening, and said a couple things that weren't really the nicest thing. I know why they did it, because they were really trying to scare me away. It just doesn't work for me. You're not going to scare me away. But yeah, the I think the meanest thing they said, they wanted me to die. Because I'm just like, hey, I'm going to be here, and they're like, you die, and I'm like, nope, I'm not dying. Not going to happen. At least not now. But so that was going on. So I did the session, for maybe 5 minutes or so, because I didn't want to go too long. And I just told him, hey, look, I, you guys can do your thing. There's nobody here, just me. And I named off a couple other people, that, the building manager and the cleaning person's name. And I said, hey, look, it's just mostly us. Obviously, people have to come through here. This is a place of business. So regardless if you like it or not, people are going to be back. It's just the way it is. So you leave them alone. They're definitely not going to be bothering you. The most you're going to get is me, but I'm not even going to be bothering you either. Said, you want to talk? We can talk. Let's just be cool about it. Be nice about it. And some of the nice ones were trying to come through, just being like real friendly and things. But then you had a couple of these cranky ones. But the good thing is, because I stood my ground with them, they've been nice ever since. So everybody's on the same page, because they realized they just weren't going to get through me. Because I also did kind of, like I said, I stand my ground. I'm like, well, you guys know who I am, obviously, but you also know what I'm capable of doing. And it's a little bit of a poke back at them, but that's mostly for those cranky ones. Because if I really wanted to, I'll just get rid of them. That's just the way it is. So if you want to hang out, but don't be threatening me and stuff like that, because I'll pull you out and you'll never come back. Just the way it is. That's how I do these things. But it was really, really cool. I mean, it's problem is I've been, I mentioned it earlier, I had headaches and things. So I don't know, I've tried to connect just a little bit doing music, because I have good days and bad days still. And sometimes I just don't want to push it, and so I take it easy. But I've been trying to be real friendly to them. If I walk, around to certain areas, hey, how you guys doing? Like before I left work yesterday, I mean, I was nice enough to be like, hey, I'm out of here, in a few minutes. I hope you guys have a great weekend. I said, well, I'll be back next week, and I said the cleaning person's name's going to be here again. So you're going to see them cleaning, and I said, I hope you guys do well. And I said, be kind, be nice to each other. You got the run of the buildings for the weekend, and then we'll be back next week. And if you guys want to talk, we can. If not, it's okay. So that was cool. And, again, I don't want to push it. I don't want to, spark them up to where then it's going to be really bad. But the interesting thing is the building manager was hinting around it to me the week before this one. And she didn't want to say it, because obviously she doesn't know what I do. And, she doesn't want to sound crazy, but she was just saying, yeah, she goes, I really hate being in these buildings by myself. Like, if nobody's here, I just don't like it. And she's a great lady. She's awesome. She's super cool, super nice, very helpful. And I knew what she wanted to say so badly. And I almost kind of like encouraged it, but I didn't. Maybe I will, but you know, not, at least some of it's a little bit more, not as unusual and taboo and things. So I mean, most people know of it, whether you believe it or not, and that doesn't matter to me. But I think it was kind of fun that she's like she hates being in the building by herself because things just aren't right. She gets weird feelings and stuff, and so, um, but that and you can get that. Now, granted, I've been in situations, I've been in buildings, real haunted buildings by myself, literally nobody in the building, and I'm the only one there. And it doesn't bother me, I mean, unless I get a feeling prior to going in, then I shouldn't because maybe it's just not the right time for it. But then later in the evening, then I do. But I've been in so many, it's just, it was funny. I heard on the radio station, the same one I was talking about earlier. Um, there was somebody was doing there was like somebody posted something and they caught it and they were like, if you could go and spend an entire night, I think it was an entire night or 24 hours in a true haunted location, how much would you need to do it? And some people, because a couple people made comments, but and they said, well, I'm sure there's probably people that would just do it for free, which is, I get it. I mean, but hey, you're gonna throw some money out there. I mean, why not? I'll go sit in a building. I'll probably fall asleep. Granted, I'm gonna have to try really hard to keep the so it won't be a perfect sleep, but I'll probably get some cat naps. But I know they'll be messing with me because they'll know I can talk. But it would be kind of cool. I mean, you know, sure, I'd take a few bucks, why not? To go sit in a building overnight. Yeah. So most of us investigators would, but I get it, and but um I know the one DJ was just like, yeah, I have to have one other person with me because obviously he's real skeptical. And he said, if something's going to happen, I want somebody else to verify it with me. Like we saw the same thing or we heard the same thing, that kind of thing, which I get. But hey, you go through the building and you survive like 24 hours or whatever. Awesome. you know, I know that's just weird. But then again, you even just being a normal paranormal investigator, you know, you build up a tolerance for things and you're not, every single little knock or bang isn't like the, scariest thing in the world, or you hear a voice, in your ear or something like that whispering. And yeah, I mean, you're going to react because that's just common, human trait, but you're not going to go running out of the building screaming, you're going to be like, okay, who was that? Why'd you whisper in my ear? Is there something you need to tell me? You just get into the mode of then asking. So that was kind of cool, but yeah, but it's kind of cool. With my buildings that I'm in, and there's a few other buildings that I've picked up on things and had some discussions with stuff, and it doesn't surprise me because of the history of the company and how long it's been around, and so whether it's possibly people that worked for the company at some point or were in that area, maybe they're passing through, or maybe they before those buildings where some of them are not that old, but maybe there's a possibility that there something happened on that land or that property, and that's why they're there. Don't know. Never. I haven't asked. You don't always ask on everything, but right. Yeah, Debbie. Yeah, that'll be cool to go over there. Yeah, I would. Oh man, Debbie's saying she's going to be, going. She's paying to do that in Ireland, castle and a prison. Woohoo! That's going to be awesome. That'll be a good time. So you got to make sure you have photos for that. But yeah. So okay, we got about 5 minutes left, which is cool. Um, so hopefully, you guys have any other questions and things like that about the UFO stuff again? Because I mean, it's kind of new for me. So, or you got any other stories to share and you want to send messages to me, please do. And if I ever find that back from my friend about, his thoughts, I'll share what I can. And like I said, it'll be kind of interesting to see what his take is on it. And I know he's busy, because he has a normal job and things too, and family, and just like me, you get busy and you just can't do everything at once. So, but we'll, if he responds soon, then I'll let you guys know, and we can, maybe I'll chat, whatever. But so next weekend is Halloween weekend. So without a doubt, there will be a Saturday morning show for sure. I figure it'll probably be, I'll probably twist it into some type of Halloween show. Something like whether I talk about, the classic, spooky stuff, or, anything like that. So we'll just make it fun. It'll be kind of fun Halloween show. I will debate if I'm going to, dress up or not. I don't know. I haven't thought about that yet. We'll see. But so that's kind of cool. Oh, I know what I should do real quickly before this. Let me do this real quick. Show you, because this is important. And my lovely friend Jen will appreciate this very much. 1 second, gang. If you guys have nothing going on Monday evening at 6:00, there is the Hearts of Change Collective. Sorry, I don't know why I got it all backwards. But we're doing a Halloween Samhain special. It's kind of a mixed bag of things. There's going to be, some people, some of the healers and people you see in the photo there. And if you want to see us up close, you can go to my wall. Some will be doing, maybe some specific healings. Some might be telling stories, scary stories. I might be one of those scary stories. So there she is. I knew she was still listening or watching. But yeah, come hang out with us. It'll start at 6. You just go over to the HOCC page, wait for it to go live, and then click on it. Again, it's going to be kind of a mixed bag of stuff. So it's not all like, it's just not going to, like a lot of the, the where they do it like once a month, every other month, they do kind of like an energy show. You talk for a little bit, and then we all do, we add our little bits of healing to everybody that's watching, viewing, whether it's live and or, you're getting a chance to play it back later on. So there'll be kind of a mixed bag. Like I said, it's going to be fun. There's so many cool people there. You guys will love it. You'll love it, love it, love it. Oh, don't worry about it, Diane. You can always watch this back. You know what, Debbie? I have no idea. I talked to my folks last night. So I'd hate to say he'd be sleeping in, or he just completely forgot, which, as much as I want to say, he is getting up there in age, but don't tell him I said that. His birthday's coming up in November. So, but, it happens. He's done that too. He goes, oh, he'll message me like, oh, I forgot the show. And like, it's cool. It's no big deal. I don't get bent out of shape if people can't make it or forget to come and hang out. That's why it's cool. You can always play this back once the show's over. It posts. I also have the audio version, in a podcast form. So you can always just start it, and then you don't even have to have your phone. You don't have to stare at your phone too. You can just listen to the show. So I always appreciate, any of that. If you guys are watching it back and things. So, oh geez. 1 second, gang. Wonderful. Yeah, I haven't had one of those in a while. So anyway, so good times, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, perfect timing. So yeah, so hang out with us on the HOCC page Monday night at 6. That'll be a good time. Again, lots of fun. Then we will see everybody on Saturday. We're going to be doing we'll do some type of Halloween thing. Maybe I'll get some type of makeup or outfit on, who knows. And then I kept saying I was waiting to see how things are going. Unfortunately, I still don't know, because like with this week with headaches and things, I just didn't know, because I said I was going to try to do like maybe pull some cards and readings and things. I don't know right now. I'm trying to take it day by day, but I hate to plan totally out. that, I can say, yes, I'm going to do it. But like I said, it's weird. I'm going up in things, but I think it's just still part of the upgrade. We've had a lot of astrological events recently. So, it all ties in, so I hate to promise anything at this point, but, I'll do the best I can. So if we can do something, I will. Again, I don't know if it'll either be Saturday night or maybe even Sunday early. I don't know. But if I do cards, it might be just as that. I might just simply pull it. I might not try to ask my guides to, add to anything. I might just be kind of here's your card. I'll explain it. And that's about it. But I won't try to really grab more. That's where it could go, because then I won't feel as, um, and I hate to use this word, stressed over it. Not that it's stressing, but I don't want to get frustrated, that, things aren't happening. And you guys know what I mean. So, but so we'll see. I'm going to try to play it out. Um, this week I thought was going to get a little bit easier coming up, and there's still a few things that, this week kind of is still full. I don't get all my freedom back like I normally do. That was what we were thinking. And then a lot of my extra time this week kind of fell apart. So, not that it's a bad thing, you know what I'm saying? So, it's just a lot of I was trying to really do some resting and things like that. But it's not. That's okay. It's just the way that the way it works out. So, uh, okay. Oh, thanks, Shannon. We're going to see we're going into eclipse season too. Feels right. You will know. Yeah. Yeah. Correct. So, all right. Well, I'm a couple minutes past, so I'm going to get out of here because I have a long day ahead of me. I'm going to be seeing a few people that were in the chat room. If they still aren't, I'm going to see a couple of them in the matter of hours, for a different type of event. Nothing, no, just a fun celebration. I guess I'll say it. I'm just gonna say it. So, you guys have usually seen the post, for Boo Productions or Dana. So Jeff and Dana are getting married this afternoon. So congratulations to them. But we're going to be there for the wedding. So Carmen, who is also watching, or she might still be there. Carmen and I are getting there a little bit early. We're going to kind of do a little cleanse of the ceremony area and the hall and stuff like that. So we're going to help out, from our side of things, and then we'll have a good time at the wedding, and it'll be great to celebrate those two becoming an item or a pair, or however you want to look at it in a funny way. But because I loved what Dana would always put. She always said, "We boo," So I love that. So, oh, cool, Rachel. Well, we'll see you there. And so I'll see a few more people. But so congratulations to Jeff and Dana. Can't wait to see you guys later. And yeah, it'll be great. So again, to Monday night at 6:00 at the HOCC page. Come hang out for the Halloween Sam Hain special. And then next Saturday, we'll do kind of a Halloween thing in the morning. And then if I can squeeze in a reading thing where it's as simple as I can make it, especially if I'm not quite feeling great, we'll do it. If not, we'll figure out another time when I'm good. So, all righty, gang. Thank you so much. As I get the frog in my throat, really. But thank you guys so much. You guys have been watching Adam the Black's. Are you about? See, I can't even sign up. Hey, thank you so much. You guys have been watching Mid-Morning Medium Chat with Adam the Black Swamp Medium, and we will see you again very, very soon. You have a great evening, rest of your weekend, all that great stuff. So all my love, light, and peace to every single one of you, and we'll see you later. Bye.